Senior Development Officer for Workforce Development in the Early Years, Childcare and Extended School Services team, part of Children's Services at Norfolk County Council. We commissioned communication friendly spaces for a number of reasons really. We knew that the foundation stage profile scores in Norfolk were particularly low in communication, language and literacy, and we had heard about CFS through a number of different people who both within and outside of the local authority had recommended it to us as a very good way of improving the environment within our early years settings. So we commissioned Elizabeth to come and deliver a project around communication friendly spaces in Norfolk, and we chose a model where we were delivering the training over 2 days with quite a high level of support and challenge in between those 2 days to ensure that practitioners are actually getting as much support to implement changes within their settings. And we've really seen it as a key driver in improving the environment within our settings this year, particularly with the implementation of early years foundation stage. I think it's really key that we're working with practitioners very closely to support how they're using the environment and making sure that it's used appropriately. And we're very keen to see how it supports settings to deliver services, particularly for boys. We knew we wanted to work very closely with settings, and we knew that boys were perhaps not scoring quite so highly on foundation stage profile. Also with children with English as an additional language, they were another key target area for us. And the environment generally, both indoors and outside. And you quite often think that Norfolk is full of green spaces, but I think particularly in some of our very urban settings, they have a lack of access to the outside, so they need to use their indoors in the most appropriate way to ensure that children are getting a very wide experience and the environment is appropriate for their needs.
Hello, I'm Emma Barber from Henderson Green Primary School. I'm a class teacher in reception, and this is Miss Lissa Reader, who's my classroom assistant. And we had the opportunity to do the Communication Friendly Spaces training in the summer term of last year. From the training, we already knew we had an agenda to be quite bold and daring in our classroom, and we went to the course and felt empowered and skilled up to come back and put some quite big changes into our classroom to really create much more flexible spaces, and we really enjoyed it.
We were excited to come back because when we sat there doing the training, we had so many ideas, and as we were going through the slides, we realised exactly we could apply it to our setting, even just sitting there. So when we came back and did a full assessment and we sat down in different areas of the classroom, we really saw things from the child's perspective that we wouldn't have otherwise have even considered.
My name's Amy Jarman. I'm from Catton Grove Primary School, and I went on the Communication Friendly Spaces course and brought back so many ideas to use here at school. The first thing I did was empty out our book box because it was overflowing with books, reduced it down so the children had far fewer books to choose from, and they were all top quality books, so they were well cared for. And first day the kids came in and were really pleased and could easily access their books. And I've made sure that people throughout the setting in the school have done the same now. We looked at the resources really carefully after the training as well. The children had loads and loads of things to choose from, but we really needed to focus that down onto equipment that was appropriate for them to be using. So we pulled out all our boxes, made sure they were clearly labelled, not overflowing, made sure that the art trolley had lots of wonderful pieces of paper, pens, equipment for them to use, and it was easily accessible to them, encouraging their independent learning.
My name's Leon, I'm a reception teacher in Norwich. The course was particularly good because I went with a colleague who worked in the nursery, so when we got back to the environment we together looked at the space and we looked at it in a different way. We got down to the child's level and we started to see things how they would, which is something we'd not really done before.
I'm Debbie from Sunshine Family Centre in Norwich, Norfolk. I'd done the Communication Friendly Spaces training back in May. Thought it was a wonderful course. Came back with lots of ideas, lots of enthusiasm, and the main thing I found was to get down to the children's level and see what they could see. Because story time for us was a problem, and we found that they weren't concentrating and looking, and that was from the training. I found that to get down on their level and see what they could see made a great improvement for us.
So we're now offering this model across the whole of Norfolk. We started with a pilot in the Norwich area, and the feedback we've had from practitioners accessing that pilot has been very good. I think we've had some significant changes made within the settings taking part. The pilot, because it has been so successful, we have decided to offer this in the other 4 areas across the county, starting after Christmas. And we would particularly encourage any settings who are looking at improving their environment, and particularly with relation to the early years foundation stage, to have access to this training, but also to do it in partnership with their children's centres, with their local school.
It's a complete shift in your thinking. It's not just something you can do overnight, it's something that's going to take time, and it will change your practice going forward forever.